That's where they keep the
On
bodies.
opening soon.
I'm ready to kill.
But I'm like, when is it going to be done?
Everything you say sounds expensive.
Be careful for what you wish.
Sweetbreads, foie gras, cheese.
A foodie who dreams of leaving his desk job
I'm tired.
finds out the truth about opening his own restaurant.
Oh, jeez. Sorry.
This is Bay Street, Toronto's financial district. Tens of thousands of people work here and dream of the big score. Ed Ho was one of them, a portfolio manager for 10 years.
Your success dictates how your mood is. And if you're having, not having successes in the investment game, you're really miserable.
Ed likes to be happy, and nothing makes him happier than food.
Sweetbreads, foie gras, cheese, shellfish, chicken wings, lobster, oysters, french fries, anything deep fried, really. Anybody that knows me at all realizes that I have no sense of moderation. So, guilty.
Ed developed his love for food as a boy on trips around the world with his parents. His father was a physician and always said he would retire to his cottage and devote himself to photography, his true passion.
Ironically, he died in a car accident going down to the cottage before he ever got to retire.
2 years ago, with his wife Daniela's blessing, he called it quits on Bay Street to chase his dream.
I've known about the fact that he was gonna start a restaurant from probably, day 3 of meeting him.
And it's really partly driven by my desire to make sure that I fulfill my life dreams while I still have a life.
And it was always just a question of when.
Today, he closed a deal on a space where he thinks he can make his dream happen.
What drives me crazy about Ed is the optimism.
I like that she makes lots of money and allows me to be in the restaurant business.
I'm the detail-oriented person, the anal person,
She will never settle for second best. She's always making sure everything's perfect, and there is no second best.
He's taken his retirement funds and bought this failed restaurant and the building it's in for $1.2 million. He's calling it Globe Bistro.
The food concept is fresh, seasonal with some global flavors.
It's a risk, because this is what the neighborhood is known for blocks and blocks and blocks.
Well, my parents thought I was insane.
To do something like we're doing, if you're not totally optimistic about the outcome, there's no way you never finish.
They actually really thought that I had, both of us had just completely lost it.
Ed has set aside $500,000 to renovate the place. He knows that even with that budget, it'll be a challenge.
When I first saw this place and I walked through the door, initially there was a waiting room in the front. It looked like a waiting room in a funeral parlor or in a French brothel. Dramatic to a point of being gaudy. It was so melodramatic almost, the way that it was decorated in the blacks and the purples, that I was almost scared.
Then there's the kitchen.
Oh, that's where they keep the bodies.
There are a lot of crazy people in this business that don't know what they're doing.
I don't want to pass judgment on the former management, but in the kitchen, you need to have a lot of love, you need a lot of care, and you need a lot of maintenance.
It's just a disaster. The electrical is... I'm surprised the fire marshal hasn't shut this place down.
Opening night is 3 months away.
It's real now. There's no turning back at this point.
From his background in business, Ed knows that this is going to be a bumpy ride. But there's no doubt there's some really big pluses.
Oh, that's beautiful.
For a guy who thinks food is better than pornography.
I tend to do everything to excess. In doing due diligence for the restaurant, that's what we're telling the tax man, right? Due diligence for the restaurant. Who have been eating out in every restaurant in town, stuff we haven't tried, we'll drive out of our way to try something just because somebody's told us it's good, and we should check this out.
Ed's also done his due diligence about a chef. He's hired Mark Cutrara.
Mark's gonna make our food special.
Mark's been working for 12 years in some of the city's top kitchens.
He wants to have a little more creativity globally and to have some more flavors that are out there that he can use in his cooking.
Problem is, his idea of special and Ed's
Hey, Mark.
I brought some treats.
aren't the same.
A normal Toronto restaurant menu should have usually a tuna,
No,
a salmon,
no,
a sea bass.
absolutely no.
I was terminated from my job.
Well, I'm just looking at this place that I'm going, is it going to be done?
I can't take it anymore.
In Toronto, a successful portfolio manager has thrown away his past
It really sucked.
to make his passion his future.
And it was always just a question of when.
But he's picked this dingy, failed restaurant
Oh, that's where they keep the bodies.
and this chef, who for the moment doesn't agree with him.
A salmon,
No,
a sea bass.
absolutely no.
It's 10 weeks to opening. Mark, the chef, does not want to put imported fish on the menu, like most other restaurants in town. He's trying to convince Ed to go bullish on local lake fish, like this pickerel.
It comes in 100 kilometers away from here, so it's bound to be fresher.
It's really non-mainstream as far as I'm concerned.
To win his case, he's presenting the fish with seared spinach, smoked potatoes, and a fresh black plum reduction.
It's not what you'd see generally on a menu that we're used to seeing on Bay Street. I never order fish in the restaurant.
That's true.
Since it's food, Ed's a pushover.
I could eat that.
It's not what I expected.
No,
No,
good.
it's very good.
That's a good dish, Mark.
Thank you.
The next week at the restaurant, bit by bit, the French bordello starts coming down. But there's been some surprises at home.
Well, I was terminated from my job.
Part of the plan for us to do this was that I can go pursue my dreams and she'll continue to pay the bills while I'm pursuing my dreams.
So we are now looking at a, family with no income.
I'm not the worrier. Danielle's the worrier.
It makes me feel very uncomfortable. Yeah.
I see things as generally good, and I'm sure everything will be fine.
The thing is, unlike a lot of people who get into the restaurant business, Ed has given himself a big financial cushion, which makes the news easier to take.
You have to have pretty deep pockets to get in this business because on a moderate scenario, we're probably going to lose a couple $100,000 in the first year. And that's a moderate scenario, and I'm prepared to do that.
Some days it's, it'll all work out in the end.
But there's no doubt the news is having an effect. When they go out shopping for marble, suddenly Ed and Daniela no longer seem like Mr. and Mrs. Only the Best Will Do.
I'm a risk-averse person by nature. I come from a family where, my grandmother and my mother keep their money under their mattress.
So far, what we've come up with are these.
There are some days when I still am trying to get my head around it.
Everything you say sounds expensive. I feel like the prettiest girl on a pier with the ship coming in. Everyone loves you when you have a checkbook out.
My focus here in this restaurant is to bring things back down to the level and the human scale.
Bar, the counter and the bar, and these would be the tables.
Part of that being surfaces that are tactile and interesting to touch, interesting to look at.
You sort of wonder whether or not, you made the right decision. You can't help but wonder, how much, again, particularly when you write a check out every day, you know, how you're ultimately gonna do.
When you start to spec out the price of linen rentals per week over the year, the investment,
Now you're trying to justify the cost here.
but it doesn't justify it tenfold.
sure.
Most days I walk around saying, okay, you know, how much is this chandelier going to cost me? And oh, you know, so most days I do walk around like that.
Checks have to be written, and you know, the velocity of the money flowing through the account is high and accelerating.
I am actually coming to work, you know, 3 times a week feeling like I'm about to throw up.
Okay. Is this more expensive or less expensive than granite?
More expensive.
More expensive.
You certainly have, you know, that throwing up feeling. I've experienced it before.
So we're going for style. Knowing where she came from, being Eastern Bloc and being a lawyer,
Boy,
it's easy to see why she's cynical and negative at times.
Then again, back at the restaurant, the high-level discussions about the menu aren't helping to calm Daniela's nervous stomach.
corn dog thingy.
The reason why I call it a corn dog thingy is that I want to be able to switch it around, change it up with one day do a lobster tail as a corn dog. Next day,
chorizo, we could use chorizo the next day, or a shrimp, or a scallop.
Is the concept that we would call it that on the menu, corn dog thingy?
Everything tastes good in a corn dog batter.
That's true.
Yeah.
And everything
fried.
tastes better fried?
It's just
like
conversation
the corn
piece.
dog thingy of the day?
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
the special of the day?
Right.
Okay.
But the truth is, there's cause for concern. It's only 4 weeks till opening, and this is what the place looks like.
Where I'm frustrated is that if it takes more labor or it takes more trades to come in to do things, well, let's just get them and do them. And it's not working out that way.
They're still building the stairs. The electrical's not been done. There's no HVAC, no kitchen, and on and on and on. Ed's having trouble getting the trades to come and stay.
If I need to get something done, it seems I have to bring my own trades in to get them done.
But the event planner hired to stage the opening needs Ed and Daniela to get their act together now.
Lena is organized,
Do we have some sort of schedule, like almost like a production schedule?
somewhat anal.
Well, I'm just looking at this place that I'm going, is it going to be done?
Okay, controlling.
But I'm like, when is it going to be done? When's the timeline?
She likes things her way.
If you're not ready in time, and it puts a lot of pressure on the publicist and the planner.
This is all very negative thinking.
I'm not trying to be negative at
It's
all. I'm just simply
contingency
trying to say
planning.
that we need to have a plan B.
But there are some certain fundamental things that she should just be able to